I like my raps extra prolific.
Nicholas Lopez Jr., where we, emphasis on the junior, where we started our company, an actual wellness consulting firm. So it's actually a wellness and tech consulting firm called Peak Vitality Solutions. So you know those acronyms there, I love those acronyms. And then the last and final piece, I met this individual, Mr. Andre Bibbins Jr. You guys might know him. And then the whole production came through. So what we're sitting here with all these lights and cameras, he makes this chocolate milk dud look good. And that's basically where we're at right now. So in the studio that we're at, our FX studio was one of our biggest corporate clients that we partner with. And that's where we're at right now. Mm-hmm.
All right. It's funny that you said a lot of the things, but I want more in depth, right? When you were leaving for America, when you went back, right? When you were leaving, coming back to America, what was going through your mind? Like, what was going through your mind when you were leaving Ghana?
So coming back, we would spend weeks at a time in Ghana. And every time we would come back, so we came back, I was 6 years old when we came back to Florida. And there I stayed for, I don't know, probably all the way up to high school before we went again. So it was a longer stint. And coming back, being in Ghana and also in Saudi Arabia, I left out that piece.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you, yeah.
So from Ghana, we stayed in Saudi Arabia for 4 years. And that's where
From what age? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Saudi Arabia, I was there from pre-K. So I was, 3 years old, all the way to 6.
Why? What was the reason for going to Saudi Arabia?
My father. So again, my father was the wizard senior. I'm the wizard junior. Big brain. So he was one of the 9 scientists. There's like 9 scientists around the world. It almost seems like a Captain Planet of engineers. So 9 scientists around the world came to Saudi Arabia. And this is where Boeing kind of made their stamp on planes. So he has 2 patents with Boeing to this day. And that's why we're in Saudi Arabia. So he was honing his skills on inventions that he was creating and through those 2 patents on the engine that Boeing uses today. And then we went to Kenya, we went to Ethiopia, we went to Egypt. So we kind of toured around that area, which most people call the Middle East, but the majority of that is Africa. And we toured around that area, and then we came back to the US in Florida.
Gotcha. So what was the, I remember, we spoke about it, how was it going to school in the South from Africa, how was that shock, being different from others?
I would say because we've traveled so much, being in Pennsylvania, we were in Detroit, we were in Saudi Arabia, we were in Ghana, and we would travel to Ghana. So the Ghanaian culture was in us. We stayed in Ghana probably the least amount of time out of all the other places at a long stretch. So we were so well equipped with so many different cultures, we were able to blend. And that's where kind of my chameleon, I would always call myself a chameleon because I would be able to blend in so many places. The reason why the South was such a shock was because there's so many different ethnicities there, but the African ethnicity was not as high in the specific place we were in North Florida, which was Tallahassee, so the Panhandle, right? So there wasn't that much diversity of Africans there, so we stood out. Now, I look African American because we know the transatlantic slave trade mostly came from Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Ghana, obviously. So we all look the same, but my accent, you can't really hear it anymore. It was all over the place. And then obviously we wear the African garb. My mom was a seamstress and a African designer. So I would represent my African clothes. And that didn't go too well in the South, being dark and being African. So we would call all types of African booty scratcher and other names I won't say on this PCJCTV. But we had to endure getting it from both sides. Pause. From the African American side, it was a kind of an African versus African American. And I didn't see why it would have to be like that because you're our brothers and sisters. But that kind of niche, like, okay, you come to Africa, you come from Africa, we would get like engineering jobs, doctor jobs, stuff like that. It's like, okay, you guys think we're better. But that wasn't the case. It was just misinformed. So we only learned about African Americans through television, right? So every place that I went to, from Saudi Arabia to Ghana to even here in the States, I learned about African Americans through television, and that representation on the television in the 80s and 90s, especially with cops, right, was terrible. So I'm going into the situation like, okay, you guys are thugs, you guys are not educated, so I'm thinking I'm better, but that's the wrong type of image that you should have, because that's really not the true culture.